on DC News Now. Parades, fireworks, and Beyonce. The district bracing for a busy 4th of July weekend. How to navigate the large crowds and road closures.
Beautiful weather is back with humidity continuing to drop. We'll let you know how comfortable it's going to be for your 4th of July.
A lengthy undercover sting targeting sexual predators. Police arresting a dozen men accused of trying to have sex with children.
That would be really, really sad.
It's just cool to have an actual spaceship here.
Discovery caught in a political debate. The space shuttle could be leaving the Smithsonian and heading to Texas if the president has his way.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 9. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Tran. It is slated to be a very explosive long holiday weekend. There is, of course, America's birthday, a Red Sox Nationals game, plus Beyonce is in town.
Yeah, that is just the beginning, believe it or not, but more than enough to create travel concerns. DC News Now's Ben Dennis is mapping out all the traffic changes and metro updates.
He's joining us live from the Smithsonian Station. And Ben, there's just so much to keep track of.
That's right. It could be a grand slam of a holiday weekend. Whether you're saddling up for Beyonce night 1 of 2 for her Cowboy Carter tour in Landover, Maryland, or hitting the National Mall right here for those festive, massive fireworks, it's public transit that's likely going to get you there the fastest and the most efficient, including here at the Smithsonian Station on the National Mall. Tens of thousands of folks set to be on the move. Whether sights are set on Beyonce or the National Mall, commuters are starting to plan their way around the DMV.
I do not think I'm going to be in DC.
And that's because of the crowds, and you've been here, done that before?
Yeah, been there, done that. Crowds, it's really hot.
Metro for sure, yeah. Gotta ball on a budget, you know.
Matthew Williams plans to end his Friday watching the fireworks. Among Metro riders on the rails and buses to ride for free after 5 p.m.
Yeah, that's awesome news, yeah.
DC's road closures and no parking zones already mapped out by local police.
Plan extra time. I always say leave early, stay late.
The Maryland State Highway Administration suggests making a game plan, and it could help for fireworks watchers and concert goers to see Beyonce at Northwest Stadium in Landover.
Make sure you stay on mainline US 50 and avoid those service roads. We don't want to be landlocking people.
Metro says the Smithsonian Station on the National Mall may be overcrowded, so consider Metro Center, Federal Triangle, Archives, L'Enfant Plaza, and Federal Center Southwest, among others. Download the Metro Pulse app. It's free and lets you plan your commute, whether on the rails, bus, or both. Plus, gauges how long it will take for trains and buses to show up.
So I don't really know what the traffic is going to look like by then, but I'm confident that the city can take care of it.
And whether you park your Lexus and throw your keys up, as Queen Bee would call it, to see Beyonce, or the fireworks here on the National Mall, Metro says make a plan. DC police have also posted road closures for right around the National Mall and also where you can't be parking, the times as well. We'll have more information from WMATA and police at DCNewsNow.com. At the Smithsonian Station, Ben Dennis, back to you.
All right, give yourself plenty of time. Ben, thanks. Meanwhile, a live look right now at Reagan National. AAA predicting 5.8 million people will fly for the July 4th holiday. That is up from last year's record of 5.7 million travelers. And at Dulles, United Airlines saying it expects to fly nearly 60,000 passengers in and out of the airport each day through Monday. They're expecting to see the most travelers tomorrow. Remember to get to the airports early and be ready to wait in longer check-in lines as well.
All right, so we have so much to plan out, and fortunately, as we were looking at the sunset during Ben Dennis's report there, it was stunning. Just, I feel like a prelude to what's yet to come.
Exactly. This is just perfect timing by Mother Nature. Right. We got this beautiful weather, and yeah, we were seeing that beautiful late summer sunset, and shout out to our producer Nat in the back, pulling that up. We are just catching the last glimpses of that color in the sky, that daylight there on this beautiful Wednesday. We finally had had some quieter weather after all the storms, after all the activity that we have experienced out there on Tuesday, and this is the end result. Things are looking up. Temperature-wise, too, it's actually fairly comfortable. We have D.C., Waldorf, up to Hagerstown, still in the low 80s for the time being, but with that sun setting, we're going to see more and more of these 70s across the board, and that's coming along with a little bit of lower humidity overall, and that's going to be the big-time trend as we move forward going into the day tomorrow. Those humidity levels, they're expected to continue to drop, and with plenty of sunshine around, that is going to make all of the difference. It's going to feel fantastic to kick off the day on Thursday. Now, will we keep this comfortable trend going straight through the 4th of July? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
Looking forward to that, Damon. Thank you. Now to the power lines strewn across streets. Trees snapped in half here in Maryland. The storms tearing through Montgomery County last night, leaving behind plenty of damage. During the severe weather, there were thousands of lightning strikes. One thunderous bolt hitting this home in Rockville. The owner telling us last night that it sounded like a bomb went off. Neighbors also described hearing the sonic boom, then finding the house nearby on fire. It was a night marked by crashes and sirens.
My wife and I were woken up by the sound of the tree going down, and we lost power. You live in a neighborhood like this, you're worried that a tree is going to come down on your house or something like that.
And crews spending the day assessing all the damage and then working to clear the roads and get the power back on. Now to Capitol Hill, House Republicans are scrambling to pass the president's big budget bill by his Friday deadline.
Yeah, and it's a ping pong of approvals. The House is now looking over the changes made to that bill by the Senate. So each time one of the chambers does make a change, the other then has to vote to approve those changes. The bill includes a permanent extension of the 2017 tax cuts and steep cuts to health care and SNAP benefits. Many Republicans support the bill, but some say the $750 billion it adds to the deficit, well, it's just too much. House Democrats say they're doing what they can to stall the vote, attaching amendments and creating a conga line of opposition.
Tucked into President Trump's massive spending plan, though, Republican senators have now put in millions of taxpayer dollars to move the Space Shuttle Discovery from its home in Northern Virginia.
Yeah, that aircraft has already traveled nearly 150 million miles and would add another 1,400 to take it to the Smithsonian Udvar-Hazy Center down to Texas. DC News Now's Dave Laval has a reaction from visitors at the museum.
Let's just say, Houston, we've got a problem. You want the Space Shuttle Discovery. It's been part of the display here at the Udvar-Hazy Center since 2012. Neither the museum or its visitors want to give up the shuttle.
This is fascinating. We really like this. Yeah.
Oscar Pozo Ortiz and his family are frequent visitors to the Space Shuttle Discovery.
It's amazing, you know, people going outer space.
They're not the only ones impressed by the spacecraft housed at the Udvar-Hazy Center.
It's really, really big. I haven't seen anything like it before.
But the countdown may be on before Discovery could take flight again, this time to Houston, Texas. Legislation in the so-called Big Beautiful Bill would allow for the shuttle to be moved there.
I'm not conceding a loss.
Chris Brown is the director of the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum, which includes Udvar-Hazy. He's not giving up the shuttle without a fight.
The Discovery is in its rightful place. We have the legal means to keep it there.
Brown says NASA transferred ownership of the shuttle to the museum in 2012. Texas Senators John Cornyn and Ted Cruz co-sponsored the legislation to get the shuttle to Houston. Both released a joint statement in which Cornyn said in part, quote, "It's long overdue for Space City to receive the recognition it deserves by bringing the Space Shuttle Discovery home." Discovery has helped attract well over 1 million visitors a year to the center. Some say they hope the shuttle doesn't leave.
That would be really, really sad.
It's just cool to have an actual spaceship here.
Virginia Senator Tim Kaine failed to get his amendment in the final bill that would have blocked the move of the shuttle to Texas. In Chantilly, Virginia, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Staying in Northern Virginia, new tonight, an Arlington school worker has been arrested accused of stalking and having inappropriate contact with the student. They say Renee Escobar was a teaching assistant at Washington Liberty High School and say that the 31-year-old was contacting a girl at the school both online and in person. Arlington school officials saying that they've since placed Escobar on leave, but they are alerting families for concerned students to come forward, saying Escobar's role allows him to interact with kids at different schools and the community centers.
In the district, a man was found stabbed near an elementary school in Southeast. It happened around 1 o'clock near Henley Elementary on Chesapeake Street. Now, the man was taken to the hospital. No word tonight on suspects or a motive.
An update from police in D.C. They've now identified the man who was killed Monday in this triple shooting in Northwest. Eric Tarpinian Hakeem was shot on 7th and M Street along with a woman and a teen. Investigators say multiple people got out of a car, opened fire on a group of people, and they say that the 21-year-old from Massachusetts was not the intended target. Police have located the car, but they're still searching for the shooters.
Developing now at 9, another new chapter for the FBI headquarters' decade-long desire to move.
So its current building in the district, they say, is just really plagued with problems from an aging water system to crumbling concrete. But instead of proposing plans to head over to Maryland, it's going to now go down the street.
Yeah, DC News Now's Mariel Carbone has more on this latest change.
Outside the Herbert Hoover building, people stopping.
We're just checking out different buildings in the area, you know, of course, the FBI building.
And snapping photos, checking out the FBI headquarters before it's no longer here.
It's pretty crazy. It's a pretty big building, and, you know, to move it all and, you know, to someplace else, I just think is kind of a taxpayer waste of money.
This week, the FBI and the General Services Administration announcing the FBI will relocate headquarters a few blocks away to the Ronald Reagan building, keeping it in D.C. It reverses a 2023 decision by the Biden administration to build a new FBI campus in Greenbelt, Maryland, which came after more than a decade of debate and research.
First, they're thinking about moving it to like Virginia and then Maryland, and now it's like all up in the air. It seems a little like, I don't know, irresponsible almost.
Ray Azad works nearby.
This building is historical, like it's been here forever.
It's unclear how much it'll cost to relocate, but the GSA says the decision avoids spending $300 million in deferred maintenance to fix the crumbling Hoover building, a figure Azad doesn't trust.
I don't really have too much faith in how they're spending our taxpayer dollars here.
Meanwhile, Congress already approved $845 million to construct the Maryland campus. Democratic officials there saying in a joint statement, simply moving down the street would ignore the real threats the Bureau faces and further jeopardize the safety of those protecting our communities. That's why we will be fighting back against this proposal with every tool we have. So about 1,500 employees are expected to move down to the Reagan building, and D.C. officials, on the other hand, they are celebrating this decision. Deputy Mayor of Economic Development Nina Albert saying that the nation's capital is the best home for the federal government. In studio, I'm Mariel Carbone, D.C. News Now.